What up, everybody? It's Sunday. Had to remember if it was Sunday or Saturday, but it's Sunday because we have Double or Nothing tonight.
I mean, once upon a time, we used to say that it was Saturdays, and it was pay-per-view night.
Yeah, I know. A little bit different now. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know why. Focus groups?
Focus groups.
Focus groups.
Everything's a focus group, and if you want to focus your group on us, how about you smash that like button? Huh? How about
Smush
you hang out with us? Why not? Huh?
Take your thumb and just like rub
Smash
all over
it into the screen.
Yeah, if you're on mobile. If you're not, I don't know. Click it.
Maybe use the mouse type of thing.
Yeah, but use like 4 fingers on the left mouse button and just mash it in there. It's a better experience. You know what? I'm just trying to reinvigorate your computing experience.
Let's reinvigorate partnerships.
Okay.
Let's talk about partnerships. Right off the hitch, we wake up 2 nights ago and we say, oh my God, WWE and New Japan are talking. Oh my God, they're going to date. They're going to ask each other, what are your intentions with my child? And then we're going to ask, what are the big matches? Because that's what we do. First of all, Tim, you're the new guy. You're the newer fan. You watch New Japan at all? Do you pay attention?
I watched Wrestle Kingdom one day once, and I wasn't paying a lot of attention. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, I don't watch it. I don't know.
My attention is paid peripherally.
Okay.
I am aware. Not only like I'll watch Wrestle Kingdom. I watch it live, and then I'll try and catch the clips from all the shows afterwards. That's the way I operate. There are other people who watch shows live as they air because they are in positions to do so at the ridiculous hours that they air. I get that. That's fine. But also, here's the thing. New Japan, they're currently working with Impact. They're currently working with AEW.
Yep.
They're currently working with ROH.
Yep.
I think they're working in some capacities with MLW as well. They're basically in everybody's bed except for WWE. So it kind of makes sense for WWE to at least attempt a conversation wherein they tell New Japan, hey, we have the market share. We have the wrestlers. We have your American expansion right here. But you got to shut it down with everyone else if you want us.
Yeah, I was about to say, in order for this to make sense for WWE, they'd have to get some sort of exclusivity out of it, right?
Yeah, and so we get through the day and we're talking about it and we're giving our predictions for every show, and then SmackDown comes on the air. And during SmackDown, in the first 20 minutes, we see a promo come around our screens from AEW, and it's Tony Schiavone and Tony Khan, Tony in the glasses and the Jacksonville Jaguars shirt.
Yeah, he's a Shades guy. He's a cool Shades guy, right?
He's a Shades guy.
Who do you think came up with that bit?
I don't know. I would love to meet them and shake their hand because that seems to be a thing.
Everyone's a Shades guy in AEW.
Of course. Well, I mean, listen. So he comes out and he's like, got the arms crossed, doing the big muscles thing because that's what he does.
He was upset. He was heartbroken.
Yeah, and he's just like, there's only room for one Khan here in AEW. This is what we're doing, and we've been working with all these people in the last 2 weeks. We had this match and this match. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, well, yeah, of course you did, because you taped 2 weeks worth of TV in one night. That's what you do. But it was fun. And I'm sitting there like, okay, fine, I get it. And it's so over the top and it's so crazy. And that's he does the whole thing. And I'm like, but also it sounds like a 12-year-old saying, my dad can kick your dad's ass.
Yeah, I got the vibe of a 10-year-old whose crush didn't work out. And now he's a little bit heartbroken because he was throwing a bit of a hissy fit. It was funny.
And you can say, it was just having fun. It was promo. And I agree with that.
I believe that.
Yeah, it was fun because that's what Tony's been doing since the Impact stuff. He was playing a little bit more over the top version of himself. I'm a big fan of that. So, the problem is, did he poke the bear a little too hard?
I thought it was adorable.
If I'm
yeah.
If I am the CRO of WWE and I'm a serious individual getting serious deals done and trying to make this happen, and it's been for months, and the crux of your journey is having Daniel Bryan, who has just had his contract lapse and talked about working elsewhere. If the crux of your deal is based on that, I'm going to wake up the next morning and say, you know what? F this Tony Khan guy. I'm going to go make this deal now. I'm more motivated to shove it down his throat so that we revisit this video months down the line and we say, hey, remember the time you poked the bear?
Yeah.
That's where I see things kind of moving if I'm Nick Khan. I'm more motivated to get this done.
It would be funny. It would definitely be the promo ends up on Cringetopia shortly after. Like,
Yeah, and I see Ron in the chat saying it sounds like an 8-year-old saying it's mine.
yeah,
Mine.
yeah.
And he's right.
We're regressing here emotionally.
Exactly. Soon he'll be
But
the
yeah,
2-year-old
yeah,
that can't
yeah.
share.
12, 10, 8. Yeah. Take a couple more years off and he's just screaming in a puddle of his own piss.
Give it I did, and again, like I don't hate it on a pro wrestling level. I don't like it on a
No.
business level because it just felt weird to me.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing. This whole business. What he's like. There's only room for one con, and I was like, nah, man, you're all cons.
Well, he's just a con man from Connecticut.
Yeah,
The line that people attach to. Okay, sure, why not? I had a good laugh, a good time, and then I'm just like, yeah, but on the other end, you know that the other guys are not taking it. They're not taking it quite as jokingly as Tony may have.
Yeah.
And I think there's something there. Now you told me offline that you had certain opinions about doing this deal. What do you think? New Japan and WWE do the thing.
My main opinion is that I have next to no opinion. I don't watch New Japan. I never have. I can barely keep up with the wrestling that is produced in North America. Like I don't know. I don't care. I don't have these big match dreams. Like because I don't know any of the wrestlers. They're unfortunately just Japanese names I don't recognize at all, unless they've made their way to North America at some point. So, I'm indifferent. I don't give a shit one way or the other how these deals go because it just makes the work kind of alienating to me. Like Impact brings in Kojima, he says 2 words, which has been a consistent feature. Like I feel like most of the New Japan wrestlers who come out, say 2 words, and then they wrestle. So it's like, I'm not that engaged. I don't know who this old man is, and he's going to wrestle some guy. Which has been now 2 in a row, and it's just like, sure? If they're very, very good, I'll be like, oh, damn, that was good. But, it takes away any real build for me, because I don't know the history. I don't care about the history, because I'm not going to go look back 10 years of wrestling, just to figure out what the hell is going on. I don't. I'm thoroughly casual in this, and it's already a bit too much. So cool. It depends. Who are these deals for? Who's winning? If the goal is to expand wrestling viewership, this is not going to do it at all. This is going to alienate casual fans, because you have, once again, all of these people, and you're using all of this insider knowledge and history to tell storylines, and it's like, I don't know. Yeah,
Just doesn't work for you.
It works for Japan, I guess, if they're looking to get their product into the North American market. WWE presumably. Is WWE already kind of over in Japan, or are they not very...
No, they're not. It is
okay, so
very much New
it's
Japan.
a two-way street then. Good. But
yes.
I don't know,
again,
Japan, this is the thing. People used to talk about big in Japan all the time with music, and it's no, they have a very vibrant internal culture. They don't need outside artists. There are a few who break through, but they have a very well formulated musical culture, just like they have a very well formulated wrestling culture. So
yeah,
I think it's overblown how easy or interesting it is to get over there. I don't think it's super necessary.
we've seen a little bit of crossover before. Now, first of all, I agree with what you're saying about New Japan. Japan having its own culture, its own unique kind of identifying caliber wrestling. Okay, it's very much rooted in a traditional sense of wrestling, right?
Yeah.
The stories are a little bit wider or a little bit lengthier, or maybe the matches are more based in movement. They're less based on comedy, although they've kind of gotten that way lately with Toriano and the King of Pro Wrestling Cup, things like that. New Japan's been trying to break into the US for probably 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
WWE has been in Japan for a long time, but not seeing the exact same level of popularity that New Japan tends to. So I guess really the conversation becomes, can the two help each other out in terms of popularity? And also knowing that New Japan has a dojo in LA and knowing that WWE has the Performance Center in Florida, can we see some crossover? Maybe we don't go to Raw and SmackDown. Maybe we start with NXT, where there are rabid fans who watch every style of wrestling.
Yeah. I think there would be a bit more room for that, for sure. Yeah. makes more sense to me that they could do that. Like I'm not knocking them for trying. I don't have an issue with it, really. Like it's just like me as a casual fan is just like I'm just less interested in these big matches because I just don't know. And like there's too much wrestling for me to really care to know. I did watch New Japan sometimes, like the little bit that I have seen, and the wrestling's great. It's just like, I don't like certain things like comedy beats are difficult when you cross cultures, just because like I see that from French to English in Canada, like the comedic sensibilities and timing are a little bit different. So
a further point is that New Japan don't have traditional television. A lot of their stuff is told in the shows that they put on the big match cards. So you really have to find a way to kind of to explain what's going on between the matches, what's setting it up, and what do? You do it on NXT, WWE TV, and then they go fight on a New Japan promoted card across the pond in Japan.
Yeah.
Like what is the way to do it? And if the idea is, I see here have Nakamura become an ambassador and have him fight in New Japan, I like the idea. There again, this is part of the crossover appeal. But at the same time, if you are casual fan X, you want to see Roman, you want to see John Cena, you want to see those names that having matches against the names that people know in New Japan. So there's that fabled, what if John Cena and Hiroshi Tanahashi had a match? What if Kazuchika Okada and Roman Reigns had a match, because they're the champions, the bigger champions right now. Mm-hmm. What if those four mixed it up in their own singles matches? What if they had tag matches to build it up? There's dream matches, but it needs a build. And I think that's where the crux of their conversation will be, is creative.
Yeah, exactly. And like having exclusivity for that is kind of critical, right? Because you can narrow the focus. There's not all these possibilities with all these other promotions, and you can tell those storylines over a longer term where I become invested, right? I don't know these people. You need to introduce them to me. So like once they are introduced, you can build it, and it's much more engaging for a broader audience if the focus is narrowed. But if it's anyone and everyone, it's messy, and you just have all of these wrestlers coming in and out of different promotions for one-offs. So
yeah. Well, if you don't want a one-off, how about you hit like on this video? How about you subscribe to us here on YouTube? Let's get those subs up. Come on, it's free to subscribe. Just go youtube.com/TimandJoelPod. Here we are. Let's talk about SmackDown, shall we?
Yeah.
We'll do SmackDown, then we'll touch on a little bit of Impact, and then we will do some Dynamite talk and some predictions for Double or Nothing. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to you.
Sound good.
Usos and Street Profits. My God.
Oh, so good. It was all so good. It was like 40 minutes of very good.
Basically the exact same thing I said at the top with WWE New Japan. Roman coming in and talking to his cousins and saying, "What are your intentions?"
Yeah.
It's like, "What, you want to date my daughter? What are your intentions with her?" It's the same thing, except Jimmy wants to have all the gold.
That makes sense to me. It's good. It's going well.
It was a really good match. I mean, we can get to some of the beats there, but again, in that backstage segment, I like the idea that, Jimmy is like backhandedly sticking it to Roman, saying, "I want to hold the gold with you and put it all together," but also saying like, "I want to be a winner just like you, but I want to be the winner with my brother because you never made him a winner."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's, again, toxicity rears its ugly head as Jimmy leaves, and all of a sudden, Roman turns to Jay and says, "You're going to need that. Good luck." And is your brother talking for you now? Which happens in the promo in the ring afterwards. The only thing that Jay really says is like, "Keep Roman out your mouth" to the Street Profits. Like, wonderful. Yeah. Very entertaining.
Oh, so good. Like it was just, and even like the Usos coming out, their entrance was, man, it got me. The whole thing, like all of the promos, the Street Profits promo was excellent, like so good.
I find it so interesting that Jay is continuously caught in the middle of this.
Yeah.
And that Roman will continue to pit the brothers against each other, and Jimmy doesn't want to go there. Jimmy doesn't want to go against his brother, and his brother doesn't want to have to go against his brother or Roman, and it's just there's such a strange dynamic that I think is going on.
It's such a well put together storyline. Like, honestly, everything with Roman has just been gold since they started it.
Street Profits coming out and saying the Usos were weepy sleepy and the Profits were creepy. And Pat McAfee underneath his breath is just like, bars. I liked it. You know what?
Yeah.
Street Profits it's usually Montez like yelling and screaming into the mic, and sometimes it gets a little bit tiresome, but this time I really enjoyed that promo. It was probably one of the best.
And the match just did it. Like constant big moves, like that leap over the turnbuckle.
Oh, that was it, man.
Like,
That
could have
finishing
been
stretch.
death. Like, that was so exciting.
Yeah, I like the idea that, you start the match, it's the Street Profits that are on top. There's like a lot of, they want to play up that there's ring rust between the Usos because Jimmy hasn't wrestled in like, 14, 16 months. So they do that. The Usos are in mismatch gear, which doesn't really happen. They used to always match. So you had like Jimmy wearing the shorts and then Jay's wearing the pants and they're wearing mismatched shirts. Like, I don't think that's a way to distinguish who is who because we figured out who is who by now. I think it's more just the idea that they're not on the same page, but they're going to be on the same page because they're brothers. It was pretty nice. Just that the whole finishing sequence. Tez breaking out another frog splash because he can, and Jay helping Jimmy, even though that's not something he would normally do. But then Tez takes a super kick, and that's the match.
Yeah.
Tez was already taken out of the match. I don't know why. If you're Dawkins, why did you tag in the guy that had just basically been taken out of the match? That was, to me, like, that's a little strange.
Well, that's the thing. They made a mistake. It cost them.
And that's it. And that's why the Usos are the better team, right? Usos and Reign Dom for the tag titles next week. I love it. They go to the back. They're talking to Adam Pearce, and Jimmy's like, give us the tag titles. And Pearce is just like,
I can do that.
such an awkward gimmick. I love it.
Okay.
And then watching Jay's demeanor kind of change when he realizes he's got to talk to Roman about it, or that Roman's going to see it. So I like it. It's again, the idea Jay is stuck in the middle, and Roman's just like, I thought you were with me. I made you main event Uso. When you're on top, you're with me. When you team with your brother, it's the opening match. It's so stupid and so silly, but so honest. I like it. Tells him, I don't want to see you in a place where people ask, which one are you again?
Yeah, exactly. Which it's good. This is such a good build. Great match. Like, I kind of want them to just take the tag titles. Like that. Let that complicate the hell out of it all. Because I don't give a shit about Ray and Dominic. So,
well, we'll talk about that in a minute because
I
have a feeling that we're going to see Hell in a Cell. It's not going to be Jay and Roman. We'll talk about that in a second. Jimmy and Roman. I don't think it'll be that. We'll talk about that. So let's move on.
Here's the thing. Is this even going to be for the tag titles next week? Because they didn't mention that.
Yeah, he said. Okay. That was the promo. He said,
I want them next week.
I want the winner of the tag match.
Didn't say it was for the tag titles.
It's for the tag titles.
It's got to be explicit. You never know in wrestling, you know?
I'm going to bring up the SmackDown gimmick.
Yeah, they better say
Ray and Dominic put their tag team titles on the line against the Usos.
Good.
There you go. And then Kevin Owens and Apollo Crews. We'll get to that. Riot Squad, show up. Tag match.
Yawn.
For weeks and weeks and months, people start with, why aren't the Riot Squads in a match? Well, they did it. And,
I don't blame them.
I don't either. It was more, I said it on Twitter. I was just like, we put him in a match, shut up. And that's Bruce Pritchard. Just like, that's it. Good enough. They tried. But I feel like they'll run it back on Friday and the Riot Squad will be newly minted heels. They'll start kind of messing around with stuff to get the win. And we'll start seeing the Riot Squad build up as a heel team.
I think that's a good idea. I think that'd be a great idea, actually. And then they can take the titles. And then we can have whoever the hell else face them.
Exactly. Start finding some face teams because here we go. Speaking of which, some face teams going on. Cruz and Apollo Crews and KO in a non-title match. Okay, so Aziz knocks out KO with the Nigerian nail.
You know my feelings about this move.
You love it. It's your favorite move.
Oh, it's so dumb.
KO sells it like death. I give him that.
Yeah, for like a full hour.
he wants to put it over. He made Aziz look like a god. It was good. Come on. So the idea here being he wants to sell it so bad that he gets Aziz banned from ringside. Because what would you do? Why wouldn't you want him banned from ringside? He's been getting involved in every single affair that Apollo Crews has.
It's irritating.
That's right. So you sell it all night to make your point, and Adam Pearce is an idiot, and he says, okay.
Sure. He was in a giving mood last Friday, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm almost surprised that they didn't have Aziz hanging from a shark cage above the ring
It feels like no matter how much we ask for it, that's just not going to happen again. No more shark cages.
until they bust out a new playset.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Give it time.
Yeah.
And then Michael Cole was just like, KO, had he won the match, would have been given a future Intercontinental Championship match. So,
I mean, he did win.
he did win. So, good for you, KO. I hope you have a good match next week.
Yeah.
Wonderful. You know what wasn't very good? You know, on the other show, Tim, we used to do Verk Watch, and we talk about the follies of Adnan Verk. Well, now I have to start a new watch, and that's Boog's Watch. I'm not talking about a wristwatch. I'm watching you, Rick Boogs. I'm watching you because you and I are both musicians of the accomplished profession. First of all, never play that Ibanez guitar again.
Yeah, that was awful. It also sounded awful. Like it sounded like a cheap guitar.
It also sounded like he's going through a boss metal zone.
I was about to say, yeah, exactly. Such a bad.
There was one pedal that used to be made by Dan Electro, which is like not great of a company, and it was called Black. So it was called Black Coffee. I owned that pedal, and it was just thin, gross distortion, and that's what this sounded like.
I had their auto wah, and I had to bring it back.
So good. Let me tell you, Boogs has trouble hearing the music, and I don't know why they haven't given him some monitors. Because I'm looking for him wearing something in his ears like we do. But
like I normally do. I forgot. Now I'm wearing these big ass cans, but
and no, like I'm seeing someone in the chat being like, I don't think it was supposed to come off like that. No, it's not. I mean,
no. They were
to play like he did last week, but for some reason he wasn't on. And we've had those nights, and that's fine. But he's playing the same stuff every time. He just needs something in his ears to get the sound of the music he's supposed to play along to.
Yeah.
And then McAfee is just like, Boogs is slaughtering it. And I'm like, yes, he is, but I don't think that's what you meant.
Yeah. I mean, he looked good. Well, he had just the white coveralls or overalls.
Cool. Sure. Why not? Let's just fast forward, put the crown on a pole, Corbin Nakamura. Put the crown, put Boogs in a shark cage.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know. That's cool.
And then
they're building Nakamura, which is good to see. That I love to see. He gets to squash, the squashies.
Yeah, I'll take that.
The SmackDown resident squashables.
Exactly. And then the tag title match. It's the same match they had at Backlash. They just kind of swapped son and dad. I don't know what their ideas were there. And then a musical distraction wins again.
So someone beat the hell out of Ray while he was praying? Or did God just be like, nah, keep my name out of your mouth? Ray versus God, WrestleMania.
God has struck down Rey Mysterio, and this is his revenge on Vince McMahon for that loss at Backlash.
Yeah.
Now, we're getting into this because it's Mysterios versus the Usos next week. It's family versus family. And I have a feeling that we'll see Ray and Roman in Hell in a Cell.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think Roman will come out. He'll cost the Usos the match by beating the crap out of Ray. And Ray will get the Cell match. And somehow the Usos might get their tag titles back, but honestly, they don't need to have the tag titles on the line for that. The other, like Raw, can have the tag title match on Hell in a Cell.
Yep.
I could just see Ray and Roman, and it's heaping heat because Roman is so much bigger than Ray. You can tell a big little man story. I think there's something in there with Dominic not being able to get in the cell. The Usos maybe holding back. I don't know what it is, but I think that's where they're going to go.
Yeah, actually, that could be really, really interesting if you have Dom on the outside getting, like, having him pressed up against the cell while Ray's on the inside getting pressed up by, by Roman. Like, that could be really, really interesting. Neither one of them can help each other. They're both getting hurt, and they can't, go Super Saiyan or whatever the hell they were on about because they're separated by the cell. I think that would be actually a really, really cool angle. And you could do another little head squish like the Great Khali.
Well, I do like squishing heads.
Yeah, squish Ray's head.
That's right. Just squish Squish your head.
Yeah.
And if you want to squish our heads, you can toss a like on the video. How's that? That was SmackDown. There really wasn't much else to talk about when it came to SmackDown. Everything else was like, there was the Carmella match against Bianca Belair.
Belanca.
Belanca. Get it right, Michael Cole. He's well liked, so there's that. Yeah. Other than that, the show was fine. There was nothing really to write home about. It was just a good, solid SmackDown that had a little bit of movement. No Aleister Black. Apparently, they just want to kind of like take their time with telling that story,
which I'm
I'm kind of okay with it. Because
same.
There were enough story beats going on this Friday show that it made sense not to just thrust that into the limelight. And it's the same they did with NXT. And I've talked about this before. When Aleister Black was in a big storyline for the NXT title, the Undisputed Era were doing their own story that was big, and they were putting it on opposite shows.
Yeah.
So they were never on the same show telling that story, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do like KO and Apollo, and then the other week Aleister and Big E, right? So
yeah, I can see that, because again, we're talking about the mid card not needing a title to tell a good story. So I can see that for sure. Impact. It was okay.
It was fine. There's some good moments. Some very good moments.
We found out next week we're going to see
by design. It was by design. A kind of transition week.
Those promos, man. And I'm sitting there on the weekly Impact stream, by the way, twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming. I host that thing every week with Steven Jensen, and I always bring on a roaming third. You're going to like this week's roaming third, as long as I get him to say yes, which he in theory has. Anyway, Impact this past week, it was fine. And by design, they come out, Founded by Design are doing their whole promo, and everything is just by design. And I'm sitting there like, okay, everything's by design. Got it.
It was great. I loved it.
It was good. I like it. You know what? Whatever. Let's move on, because now we got Kojima makes his debut.
Yep.
He comes out and just challenges Joe Doring.
Okay.
It's going to be dangerous. Listen, the match is going to be dangerously good, and they're going to go one-on-one against the odds, against all odds. Okay, why not?
I couldn't tell you why, but also why not?
Because Kojima likes Doring, because Doring was in All Japan Pro Wrestling. Why not? Not that Kojima was. We found out that there's going to be a big X Division 60-minute Ironman match for the X Division title. Josh Alexander puts it up against TJP. TJP's a good wrestler, which is fine. Whatever.
Undeniable.
Yeah, exactly. And the final minutes of that match are going to bleed over into Impact, which I appreciate. I think that'll be fun.
I think this is a really good idea. Is it going to be like 30-30? Or no, they can't do 30 minutes. No, God, no. But yeah, this is going to be a good match. Like, it's a good design. It's a shame it's TJP, especially since Fall Out Boy did all the work.
Right. And then TJP hits the mama splash, and that's it.
Yeah, whatever. Get splashes. Whatever. I'm sick and tired of frog splashes, man. Like, the only one who should be doing them right now is Montez Ford. Saw another one in NXT this week, and I was like, I don't care. It wasn't even good.
Who did one in NXT this week?
NXT UK, sorry.
In the UK. Sorry about that.
I think it was, I don't know. One of the opening matches, maybe. Whatever.
Sure. Either way, there are a lot of frog splashes in wrestling right now, and we talked about it last week. We could probably give it to just like one, maybe two people. One on each brand.
Yeah, totally. It's just like chill the hell out with the frog splashes.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know what to do that's interesting, so I'm going to just do a frog splash.
Yeah, good enough for me. Good enough for me is shockingly Rosemary versus Deonna Purrazzo set for Against All Odds. Not what I expected.
No, I think it'll be a one and done. They'll do this and then move on to longer term story. But
we talked about it, and I'll give Impact credit. Every time we think we have the Knockouts division plan under wraps, everything's different, because we were talking about Taylor Wilde at Slammiversary getting the tag title, or getting the Knockouts title shot. And now we don't even know, because Taylor Wilde
disappeared.
Wasn't on the show. Yeah. So Rosemary and Deonna at Against All Odds. It'll be a good match. Rosemary is very good at her job. So is Deonna, we know. And again, they'll have Decay, the two of them, and then the other two with Deonna's group kind of have some interaction. They won't have matches because they don't really do the intergender stuff very often, but I think we're looking forward to a good couple of weeks of build.
Speaking of them not doing the intergender stuff very often, you've been hyping that Jordynne Grace is going to likely go for the X Division Championship. And I don't know that it necessarily read this way this week, but like, Jordan Grace stepping in for a mysteriously absent Taylor Wilde. Do you think that's the start of a Jordan Grace heel turn, perhaps? Like
Yeah,
she seemed jaded by not being asked when Ellering was, right? So
yeah, I could see that for sure. It looks like she was just kind of going through the motion, like on camera, going through the motion to join that tag match.
yeah, exactly. So I
'Cause
don't
she was
know. Maybe
annoyed.
what they could do is have her be the one who took out Taylor Wilde, and then they have a feud. But
Yeah, I could see that for sure. And then I don't know what happens with Ellering in the meantime. She's got to
well,
figure
like
that.
she eventually gets to Deanna, I assume. So
I guess it wasn't, again, not what we had
no,
expected. We thought,
yeah.
yeah, we thought it would be a one-off. Meanwhile, what's not a one-off right now is Sammy Callahan still getting involved in this Moose and Kenny business.
Yeah, he's going to be at Slammiversary. That seems to be what all signs point to that, which is like, why? I don't give oh man, like I don't care. He delivered quite possibly the slowest stunner I've ever seen in my life this week on on Big LG. Like
It was nuts. I got nothing else to say because as much as I tried to enjoy it, I'm just like, I can't. Sammy shouldn't be in this gimmick.
no, he's not. He's not a main eventer. Like I'm tired of it.
No, he's not. And we mentioned this last week. Sammy was involved, we think, because Moose hadn't signed any contract yet.
Yeah.
And now that he's signed, but they've already taped the shows, we're stuck because now Sammy and Moose are going to have a match next week on Impact. And I'm going to have to sit there and be like, great, this 60-minute Ironman match was excellent. This finishing 30-minute whatever with Moose and Sammy, ugh. Ugh.
Ugh.
Watch Impact with us Thursdays at 8 o'clock on twitch.tv/Pipeline. Let's talk about Dynamite. Dynamite, fans are back.
Yep. Cool.
We don't talk about Dynamite normally on this show, but because Dynamite is airing on Fridays this past week and next week,
what?
that's what we're going to do. Yeah, next week Dynamite's on Friday as well.
Fine.
We're going to talk about Dynamite then. Darby Cesar Bononi. Darby is very much over with that crowd.
The people love Darby. My God.
Can you blame him? He's a very well-liked man.
Yeah, seems nice.
We'll get into. I'm seeing the chat asking about Joker and who's gonna be the Joker and all that stuff. We'll get there in a minute.
What is the Joker?
End of the match, Darby calls out Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Sure, why not? It's a quick beatdown. I like that they tease the leg snap for Sting, putting him in the vine in the chair.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Dark Order comes out. They're over. Dark Order is going to be over forever in AEW crowds.
Yeah. Oh, they did the Sting mask bit.
Oh, we'll get to that. I love that. We'll get to that when we get to their match, this Page and Sky match. I'll skip ahead because we'll talk about the weigh-in separately.
Yeah, that's a conversation.
That's its own can of worms. Christian with that giant wrapping post full of sand on Powerhouse Hobbs. When I saw the sand come out of it, I was like, oh, they did not gimmick that thing.
Nope.
That's going to leave a mark.
He can take it. He's got all that thick muscle, you know?
It's true. He is.
Why else have it?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Hangman Page. I stupidly wrote Page in my notes.
Yeah, it's not. You're going to get confused.
Joey Janela and Hangman Page had a great match, which was totally expected because of the All-In 2018 match that they had.
Yeah.
And I said it online. I'm like, listen, they had a great match in 2018, provided you forget the finish. So there we go. Page busted open. I still couldn't figure out where he got busted.
I think that was hard, right? Like, there's no way.
Was?
Yeah, it looked deep, too. He was dripping.
Yeah, it was going.
It was high, too. Was it an elbow? Like,
that's what people were saying. I don't know, because I saw him leave the ring to do the buckshot lariat, and he wasn't bleeding. But when
and they came back.
He was gushing, and commentary they paid attention to that. Yeah. I was like, well, I don't know where that came from.
Maybe he did blade. I don't know. It seems pointless too for like this match, but
yeah, I don't know. It was very strange. But Janela with that kind of like low snap thing to the bottom turnbuckle, I like that.
Yeah, very good.
I was seeing Page's head kind of bounce off that bottom turnbuckle. I was like, oh, that was gnarly, but it was good. Yeah. And also Joey Janela, whom we stand on this podcast.
Damn right.
His elbows, man. His top rope elbows are so damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Post-match, Cage comes out. All Team Taz got Hook.
I liked him being like, I know how this goes. Okay, there you are. Come on. Yeah. That was good. That was a good bit.
It was weird that Cage was doing his promo without a microphone in his hand. He was just kind of shouting into the void.
Yeah, it was very audible. The camera mics or whatever they had, like whatever their miking system was picked it up pretty easily. It did seem odd.
I wonder if people live in the crowd were able to hear it.
Yeah, I don't know. They could have fed that audio in, but I can see that being disastrous if they're not careful.
Yeah, I mean, they just saw him do the "I am Cage" thing, and that was it.
Yeah.
Rod and Todd Flanders.
So good. Oh, that
They're-
promo.
Tim, when I die, bury me in yours.
They are so no. I'll rip them off your corpse and sell them to some idiot. Even though I hate everything about. I'm not a sneaker guy.
That's fine by me. All right.
But yeah, that promo was very, very good. Very funny. I love them so much. They can do no wrong. Except I don't know why they cut off the start. They started to air the promo and then they stopped airing the promo to go to commercial, which seems like just not what you would ever see happen if you've employed people who have worked in television ever.
Yeah, I felt like there was a weird timing issue. It could have been coming off of the Team Taz and Adam Page segment. They had just lost some time, so they went. It was weird though. But yeah, I don't know what happened with that commercial.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe they're automating some of their segments, and that screwed them over. Because like I don't know, that's weird.
Mm-hmm. I like at the end how they're talking about we're gonna beat the Bucks, and then Eddie Kingston's like, and then we'll become EVPs. I could be a VP. I can control. And he turns to Mox and he's just like, "Don't you want to be an EVP?" And Mox is like, "Nah, I don't want that. I'm in and out."
I'm in and out. Yeah. It's like, all right.
Why not? What else we got? Paco and Kenny was fine. That was their last chance to get me bought in for tonight, and I think they did an okay. There was
a payoff from the contract thing not being quite like ripped up last time. You know, he came back. The envelope was a good bit.
Yeah, just paper blowing in the wind. And
then really using that arena.
Did you? Yeah, exactly. The Memorial Day fireworks going off at the weigh-in. We'll talk about that.
Oh my god!
I like that he comes out, or Orange Cassidy comes out, and he's got the envelope, and of course it says for Ken, and it's scratched out the KENN because he ran out of space, and then writes out Kenny on the bottom. I love it. So lazy.
Yeah.
The man is.
Him holding up the AEW championship with a thumbs up is just like there's no way in hell he's gonna win, but that was a great visual.
Right. Not yet, but there will be a time when that. Yes.
He's going to be the champ, and him it's not very often that you see people coming up with like novel ways to integrate a championship into their character, but like you've never seen that. You've never seen this like blasé, too cool for school champion who's just like
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a good little bit.
Yeah.
And then Callis looked like he was behind a green screen. It was very strange.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Normally, like that particular shot is actually right at the entryway. So I don't know. It just looked very strange that Callis looked so. It looked so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Kenny wearing a stupid Good Brothers hat.
Yeah.
That's the only note. I was just like, why? We talked about this off air. Mark Sterling is managing Jade Cargill. And Mark Sterling, the report from PW Insider is that he is signed, and that's great for All Elite Wrestling. Him and Bear Country, great, cool.
Yeah.
Now the story is Mark Sterling managing Jade, but only gets paid when she wins. Now, here's what I like about that. Jade continues to win. That's her story. She is undefeated. She is on a streak, on a tear. Why not get a little bit of that action?
Yep.
And let Jade feel like a bigger deal than maybe she is. Maybe that's what Sterling's kind of getting to. I will take this racehorse until I need to make glue with it.
Yeah, because it doesn't make much sense from a business perspective. He's not a coach. Like he has no real ability to help her win or not. Like he can broker deals, which she seemed very insistent on doing herself, but perhaps she doesn't understand what that even means. Like, I don't know. Like it's odd. And I hope that there's like a long-term angle with this. And AEW has been largely pretty good with that. So there probably is. So, and that would make sense having her be like, I want the best deal possible for me, to the point where she's gotten a manager who has signed a management deal that makes very little sense from a business perspective. So
Kylan King looks great. Also 6 feet tall. I had no idea.
Yeah, 6'1". Like they yeah, that's crazy.
Insanity. And like legitimately taller than Jade Cargill, who is a tall woman herself.
Yep.
I was like, okay. Jade is Jade. She is a star and everybody knows it.
Very much so.
Will Britt Baker be her first loss for the women's title?
I could see that happening. You know, you got someone who's a little bit more seasoned.
Now let's go back to Mark Sterling for a second. Sterling putting all of the money he gets paid building up Jade's wins, puts it against Jade, just bets it all against Jade, and screws her out of whatever match leads to her first loss so that he can then go and join forces with whoever he made the bet with. Hardy family offices.
Yeah. There could be a really good angle with that. I see that being like pretty choice, because however Jade's going to lose, it's going to be through like either Britt cheating if they get to her, right? Like it's going to be through some nefarious situation. So I think that'd be a really, really good angle. Big brain.
Once in a while, I have a big brain idea. I'm not here to just parrot ideas. Miro and Dante Martin have a match. Dead Dante, poor bastard. Nice dropkick though.
Yeah.
That's about it. Did you see Miro's Twitter promo?
No, I don't follow Miro on Twitter.
It made the rounds. It was very good. It's a minute. It's him like up on a not a balcony, but like a whatever. He's outside, and it's nice, it's beautiful, and he cuts a promo on Lance Archer that's really good. And I think you should go back. It's a minute of your time. Go back and watch it. It's something that's worth it. And then Lance cuts a promo. No more Jake Roberts except for live. Yeah. I enjoyed it. That bent over game over though. Oof. That's painful.
Yeah.
Is Lance Archer the face now?
Yeah.
Is that
he's
what we're
just
doing?
like some big dude. I don't know.
And Jake Roberts is his handler because he says sick him.
Yeah. Like, well, because it was the Miro, like you always have this old man holding you back, you know. So he's like, nah, it's time, sick him.
So basically, they played into it.
Yeah,
sure.
It's good. It's good.
So we have a new women's title, not champion, new women's title.
Still looks like a weird, like, tiny pill or nail, but it's bigger.
It's much bigger.
It's much bigger.
Marginally, it's
still
bigger.
narrow. Like, why is it so narrow?
They're trying to keep it feminine or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's the dumb teardrop look. I'm more of a big title kind of guy, but.
And Sheeta looked great. It was a good promo, very, very straightforward, you know, but I think this is her consolation prize.
Yeah, this had the feeling of being like, you're not going to get to win in front of fans, so we can do this thing in front of fans. Yeah.
I mean, and listen, they haven't done much good with her character arc while she's been the women's champion.
No, she's been a dominant, like, great wrestler. She had, like, a number of very good matches. Unfortunately, none of them in front of fans, but, like, you know, she's been a very good champion for a year, a fighting champion, as they said. So
there was a whole thing about people saying that she never had matches in front of fans, but of course we've known that fans have been in Daly's place for a while.
Yeah, they've had fans, like.
But I actually, if they're being authentic about that statement, one thing I want to go back and find out is if she was having matches that were live with fans on like a live show, or if her matches were largely held with the taped next week's show.
Ooh, yeah. Good point.
Because if there's any authenticity to them saying that she kept having matches without fans, then I think it's worth kind of revisiting. But we never got to see the Sheeta character beyond she's a babyface.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's just a citizen is how they put it, right?
Kind of, yeah. Meanwhile, you have Britt Baker, who's been undergoing the most character changes since she got into, to AEW.
Yeah.
She comes out and she's like, this is the era that's about DMD, not 316. And I'm like, well, good enough. There it is. That got a lot of people. And it wasn't like the most amazing line ever. Oh my God. But come on.
No, like, I mean, she's done such a consistent job that she is going to be the face of that company. Like,
yeah, there's so much opportunity there. Speaking of opportunity, here's a match with 3/4 of the contingency being Canadian. Ooh. We had Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky taking on Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Page, Uno, and Stu, all Canadian boys, all from our neck of the woods. Yes, Page from Hamilton, and then Uno and Grayson from Ottawa. So I'm a fan. I'll take it. Cool. Good match, way more balanced than I expected, and most.
Yeah, same. It was like.
And again, Dark Order, very old.
Get over here.
I like Sky using the Scorpion Splash, the Stinger Splash.
Yep. Yeah,
it was very nice. And then that like cannonball 450 thing that Grayson and Uno do, I love it. That was so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great, Matt. Like honestly, oh man, just pretty much all of AEW this week was very, very solid.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
except for the thing that we're going to talk about.
yeah, oh boy. And then we got Sting Meme 3.0.
Oh yeah, I recognize this one. I may not see everything, but I have seen that.
We have now seen it 3 times in 3 different companies, and I friggin' love it.
It's very funny. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, why not? Everyone was posting it because it's something that you got to do
Yeah,
at least once.
of course.
By the way, that Ego's Edge getting into the pin while Stu is in a submission and can't do anything about it, I like that. That was a good finish. For all the things of like, Sky and Ethan Page were just kind of thrown together as a tag team. Yeah, but when you have a finish like that, there is cohesiveness. I was a fan of that.
Yeah.
Let's go through really quickly the Inner Circle farewell. First of all,
yeah, because that's what it is. It's not like it's like, all right, thank you. I mean, it'd be weird. What a waste of time otherwise, bringing out Bischoff and everything. Like
that was strange, and where he says like they're the most influential group ever, or something, or bigger than the NWO, and it's like, I'm not so sure.
I don't think about. Oh man, the most boomery shit out of Jericho the entire time. It's like we were like Guns N' Roses, and I was like, okay.
Well, he had a shirt made up a while ago with all of them.
He's so lame.
He's going on tour soon enough.
Yeah.
So the Inner Circle have been faces for about a month, and that video was full of them beating up current faces. They beat up Ricky Morton, Orange Cassidy, Dustin Rhodes, Mox, and Darby Allin.
They had to like edit some of the commentary and stuff just to make it sound. I was just like, okay. They're just cherry picking like all this stuff. It was very funny.
And then, of course, FTR and LAX and the whole 5-way pile driver spot on the field with the Pinnacle. So much fun.
Drove through that one table and not quite so much the other one.
Yeah, exactly. I enjoyed it.
It was good. It seemed like Tully was checking on him after for quite some time.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Poor Dean Malenko, man. He's just the groundskeeper. He just sleeps on the field, and they just happen to find him there. They tied him up. Oh no! All right, let's talk about the weigh-in. Do we have to talk about the weigh-in?
We got to talk about the weigh-in because it was like my wife heard me in the kitchen while I was watching it, just audibly sighing constantly, and she's like, "What's wrong?" It's just like it's so bad. It's just so bad, and I don't know why.
Paul White comes out. And he says, "This will be a serious weigh-in."
Okay,
so Paul White comes. This party started.
Paul White comes out and is terrible. Like, what the hell? He's had a long career, and he was just bad on the mic. Like, full stop. It was all bad. Like from the get-go, he sounded awful. It didn't make any damn sense. Like. And why are they weighing them? Why are they actually weighing them? What the hell was the point of that?
The idea of using the scale in professional wrestling works when you're trying to tell the story. Let's say, so Buddy Murphy, once upon a time, when he was doing the cruiserweight angle, where he wanted to get under 205 live, and Drake Maverick was the GM, and he said, you have to make weight or else you forfeit and you're done. And every week you would have the weigh-in, and it'd be Buddy trying to hit under 205 so he could get his title match.
Yeah,
that works.
Makes sense. This doesn't mean anything. It means nothing at all. It was pointless to do a weigh-in. Like, the weight doesn't matter. It's an open weight match. Like.
And bless QT Marshall for saying, he's a pound heavier. He's going to win. Like, I don't think that's how it works.
Oh, it was so dumb. Like.
It was just, Agogo says nothing. He doesn't have a promo. QT is talking for him. Sure. Agogo, and I don't understand why he hits the turnbuckles. Like, is he trying to get heat? Is it because there's a live crowd? It was really strange. Especially after everything we watched in the rest of the promo and the rest of the segment.
And as Caleb's pointing out here, like Paul White there, like ripping on Agogo for coming out with a few people, and then Cody comes out with a herd, and it's just like this is so stupid. I hate this so much. Like I just deep sighs, like.
And you can chalk it up to Paul just being besties with Cody, so he's just kind of putting him over. It's like, haha, he came out with his friends.
I don't care. Like,
It's really dumb. It was not, it didn't hit. The scale was hilarious, trying to use the scale.
just silence for so long when it doesn't matter and you can just lie. And I bet that they still lied. Like,
I love, all I could think of when they were trying to do it was your line from last week, just being like, a little bit doughy.
yeah,
Doughy.
basically. Like,
I'm looking at Cody and his size 2 small boxers.
yeah. Oh, and like the fact that the commentary is basically told to like talk about how fit Cody is. Like ever since day one, there's like, he's put on like 20 pounds of muscle. And I was like, I think he's just like getting older. I've seen this happen. Like,
Well, we have predictions to give for Double or Nothing.
that we do.
So how about we start with this match, because we just talked about everything ad nauseum. And I'll throw this out again. This was the first week where the 4D chess theory did not play into it. Where I was sitting there being like, nope, they really think that Cody's the face here and the Go-Go's the heel. Meanwhile, Anthony Ogogo takes to Twitter yesterday, takes a photo in front of, what was the name of the rock? Behind me stands Stone Mountain, a monument for men who fought to uphold slavery. Hundreds of thousands of divvy Americans come here to pay respects to them. This is what I think of the unjust American history. I hate their history and I hate their present. I fight for my country always. And it's a photo of a Go-Go with a Union Jack mask up in his face, and he's giving the finger to the camera, which is behind him, Stone Mountain. The man is saying, I hate slavery. I hate what the U.S. did to promote slavery, but I'm the heel.
What is happening?
And then it happened in the chat. It's right. They reacted like Cody was the face.
Yeah. Thank you, Florida, for doing the most Floridian thing imaginable. Like,
some dickhead spat on the Union Jack too, and a Go-Go went off on him on Twitter, rightfully so.
Also, like, oh man, I don't know. It's weird to be that proud of the UK too. Like, it's all dumb. Like, this is all so stupid.
So I see in the chat someone saying, Cody's going to win because he's coming out as the American Dream. Now, 2 things. One, I get that. But the American Dream thing is a copyright that he's trying to get back. And we talked about it on our past shows. Cody's American Dream patent or his trademark appeal was denied because he couldn't prove that it had been used in entertainment. So him bringing it back is so that he can go back to the USPTO, refile it and say, look at me, I just did it for the last month. And USPTO will give him the American Dream patent. So, yeah, no worries. It's Florida.
You shouldn't be allowed to patent that. But whatever.
No, you shouldn't. But they're going to, and whatever.
So stupid.
Rhodes and a Go-Go, who wins the match?
Oh, God. It better be a Go-Go. It's not going to be, but...
I'm going to say a Go-Go wins by disqualification.
God.
Because if Cody is going to turn in this 4D chess gimmick that we've talked about, then Cody needs to beat up a Go-Go, take out the eye that we've talked about, or that's been talked about so often, that a Go-Go has bad eyes, or bad left eye.
Yeah.
That Cody punches him and beats him up so bad because he's the American aggressor, and he wins. He wins by losing. He basically gets called out and DQ'd, and a Go-Go wins the match.
And then what did they do with QT? Like,
QT comes out the next week and he's just like, look at this piece of garbage. Look what he did. He couldn't stop
this is why I switched, and then everyone on the Nightmare Factory is now a heel.
Yeah, well, listen, that story alone is garbage.
This is all awful. A Go-Go better win because I don't give 2 shits about Cody Rhodes, as I've said 1,000 times. So
we asked for hot takes. We got a couple of hot takes about this match, and then we'll move on. Our friend Tank says Cody wins and we get the American Dream era where he is just a lifted truck owner's inner monologue, but with a lame finisher.
Oh, God.
And then Jason responds, a Go-Go punches Cody so hard that it rips him in half. It takes both halves of Cody to the back. The factory celebrate, and then over the house speaker, Cody yells, I didn't hear no bell. And the top half of Cody crawls down the ring and wins in seconds for America.
Oh my God. That's gruesome.
which Tank replied, "Let's be honest, Cody's going to be bleeding the second he has a thought about taking a punch."
Yeah. He's gonna look at him, just look at him funny, and his forehead's gonna start to bleed.
So you say, what did you say? A go-go or Cody?
I'm saying a go-go. I think he should. I think he will win. I think he should win by some way.
We've had month after month where Cody continues to win these big matches, LOL Cody win style. So yeah, I could see it. But let's circle down back to the card. NWA Women's World Championship on the buy-in. Serena Deeb defends against Riho. I mean, Deeb hasn't defended that title in the NWA since winning that title on a UWN show. So I think I know who wins this match. How about you?
Yeah, Deeb.
I think it would be a shock if Riho pulled out that victory. There would be a bigger story there, but I don't think so. Hangman Page versus Brian Cage. Who's going to win this match? We got two big men trying to go for a world title after this.
This one's tough because there's good cases for both. I'm going to say Hangman just because I think he needs to stay strong in order to get him to Kenny, right? And it's going to take a while still, but and like he could take this loss here. He really could, but I don't see what it really does. So maybe we get a Hangman Page win with a respect finish.
Oh, that's interesting because we did have that one promo from Cage saying, "I respect you, Sting."
Yeah,
they teased that tension.
I think this might be a way of getting Brian Cage out of Team Taz.
Yeah, Team Taz.
And like Team Taz can exist because they still have Hobbs. Like
and Hook.
And Hook. I mean, I basically mean they got one big meaty man, right? Like they don't need two.
And Hook.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And Hook. Anyway, I think they're thinking, AEW is thinking about not 50-50ing this feud.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that Cage takes another one from Hangman. And that Hangman still gets a title shot, but he's going to get it later because they got to take this through the summer. Hangman's got to be down on himself a bit. Yeah. And then Cage versus Omega is somewhere down the line in the summertime.
Yeah.
And then we can build to Hangman for Labor Day weekend for all.
Makes sense. Yeah. So I mean, it's possible. Like I said, I think this one's tough because they're totally fine cases for either man.
Yeah. And again, it's going to be a good match. I'm looking forward to watching these two kind of beat the crap out of each other again. I think it'll be surprisingly good for everyone.
Yeah.
Let's move on. We have the tag match: Sting and Darby Allin taking on Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky. Sting's first sanctioned in-ring match in 6 years. I love how Tony Schiavone had to correct himself, or Jim Ross had to. One or the other.
Probably
either.
Almost always JR.
Always. So there you go. Who do you have between Sting, Darby Allin, and Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky?
I'm gonna say the heels win. Maybe because of Sting, not because he like turns on Darby, but because they got the ring rust angle. Darby can still support him. But it's a convenient way to have Darby, who is very over and needs to be kind of dominant, lose because, he's there for his buddy. But
yeah, I can see that. And again, this is one of those weird ones.
Yeah,
where I don't know what to expect.
Which is good. That's great. I'm glad that there are matches on this pay-per-view that feel that way. There are some that decidedly don't. But
I'm gonna say Sting and Darby win. Only because it's Sting's first match in front of a live crowd in forever.
Which is, exactly. Could totally be it.
Because we have the whole fans are back and this is a big deal type of thing, you don't want to, piss them off too bad. Because I already have Cage winning this match against one of their biggest faces.
Exactly. So, if we want to balance things out, this could be a big moment of collective joy in the audience, So.
Yeah, exactly. So I like the match. I have no idea who's going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Allin and Sting. And down the line, seeing Sting and Darby maybe come to blows. I see Evan in the chat saying Omega versus Darby for the world title at the next pay-per-view. That next pay-per-view is All Out, so I don't know if it's going to be then. I still think we're looking at Hangman, but Darby and Omega maybe on Rampage. Not even on Rampage, because the first Rampage shot I think is going to be the winner of the Casino Battle Royal. Mm-hmm. Either way, I can see Omega and Darby on a big Dynamite show or a big quarterly show that they do. let's talk about that Casino Battle Royal. Christian Cage, Matt Sydal, Powerhouse Hobbs, 10, Evil Uno, Colt Cabana, Matt Hardy, Isaiah Cassidy, Mark Quinn, Jungle Boy, Penta, The Acclaimed. Why do they list them both, but they don't have Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn listed together? Anyway, Nick Comoroto, Lee Johnson, Dustin Rhodes, Varsity Blondes. Again, why do they list them both? But they, whatever. The Blade, because the Butcher's injured, and TBA.
TBA?
TBA. So that's the Joker.
TBA wins.
Really? Okay.
No, I don't know. They've done that so many times. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably Christian.
You think so, eh?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I don't see another way. It's been built as Christian for so long. I think it's Christian as well. But otherwise, unless they pull up a random, like Jungle Boy wins and then they have the match on Rampage. But I don't think it's a big enough draw, Omega Jungle Boy.
No, yeah, like it's probably Christian. They can't do another like surprise entrant. They have such a deep roster already. So like yeah, it's Christian. Gotta be.
Prop bet. Who's the TBA?
I don't know, Rocky Romero.
Rocky Romero? Okay, I don't hate it. Because I don't think it needs to be a big name.
No, I don't think so.
People are saying
either.
Mark Henry is a Joker. I don't think so. I see that Mark has been losing some weight and everything, but I don't think he's going to be. Mark is very much a WWE ambassador. I don't see.
Oh, the Joker's that. Sorry, I didn't remember. Like this is how they do their surprise entrant.
So if you want to change your
No. Let's just still say Rocky.
You'll say Rocky Romero.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see Jay White as the Joker. I don't know about.
He's another New Japan guy, right?
He is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I like broadly, I would say another New Japan guy, but.
Yeah, but then who would it be?
Yeah,
it's Kojima. It's going to be Kojima because he did the Impact thing and he stuck around. Yeah. A lot of people were saying Nick Gage. I like the idea of Nick Gage being the guy, because it was supposed to be last year rumored he would be the guy who comes out, or make good with that, or Big Show was the other one. That one was very obvious.
Big Show could be, he's been itching to wrestle, and Lord knows I'd rather see him wrestling than talking nowadays. But
yeah, I don't know. Again, I see Evan in the chat saying Jay White isn't booked for Dominion, but he has a convention appearance next month. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm going to stick with Nick Gage. And I love the idea of Vince McMahon's like OCD getting the best of him, being like Nick Gage, Adam Page, and then Ethan Page, and then Brian Cage, and then Christian Cage. And he's just going nuts, being like, it's too many ages.
just their names and the red yarn.
Exactly.
What's it all mean? What are they trying to do to me?
And I like the idea of a Jungle Boy victory, but I don't expect
not
Jungle Boy.
quite yet. Down the road, but not yet.
And sometimes the most obvious is the winner. That they do that sometimes with AEW. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say Christian Cage, and the who's the Joker? Honestly, I'll stick with Nick Gage. My only other person would be Paul White, in his gear, just being like, oh, look at this.
So who is Nick Gage? He's an indie guy, and is he a violent psychopath? Because that's the vibe I've been getting, but I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, he's the deathmatch guy. He's the one that they did the Dark Side of the Ring on recently, where he had gone to jail and came back and has had the run of his life on the indies since then.
Why did he go to jail?
Robbed a bank.
Oh, cool. I love this guy.
Robbed a bank. And actually, if you watch the Dark Side of the Ring, they interview Mox because they're good friends. And the line of the whole show from that was him saying, Nick Gage robs a bank. And when he comes out to the ring, Nick Gage wears a mask. Nick Gage goes and robs a bank and he doesn't wear a damn mask. So what do you think?
Know what? That's just great. That's good for his career. He probably made that as a tactical career move.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Nick Gage would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'm just replying in the chat. Phoenix is injured right now, so I don't think
Phoenix
is going to be the guy coming out.
He keeps getting injured, probably because he's so cool. Does cool shit.
Yeah, that's why. Moving on, we'll do the That's going to be the main event. The AEW World Tag Team Championship match: Young Bucks against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Is Eddie Kingston going to become an EVP after tonight?
I don't know. Please give them the belts, even if only for a little while. Take them off the Bucks.
So you're Mox and Kingston.
I really want them. You know what? I'm a put it out into the world. I don't fully think it's gonna happen, but I want it to happen. So
I'm gonna take the Young Bucks.
Yeah. Boo.
I'll take Rod and Todd Buck.
Couple of dweebs.
Yep, Rod and Todd Buck. That's my guy. AEW TNT Championship: Miro, Lance Archer. What? I just saw Jeremy Lambert post something that I thought was very interesting. It was a Miro thing. He said, "People call AEW my home. AEW is not my home. I have a home in LA, Bulgaria, Nashville, and St. Pete. Those are my homes. AEW is just a place that I come to murder people, and then I go back home to spend my money." That's a Miro quote.
Well, that's very good. Go Miro. He's doing exactly what we said he needed to do. Like he's taken this and he's running with it really, really well. And I think he needed the title. Like he needed to have it. He's going to keep holding it. So Miro.
I agree. Miro, Lance Archer. I think we're on the cusp of saying goodbye to Jake Roberts, or at least
I think so.
Getting. And I see Caleb in the chat saying this is Lance Archer's 4th title shot and he has yet to win. I just don't see Archer suddenly winning the TNT title unless they put it right back on Miro the next week.
I think they're just going to keep using him to put over other people. Like I don't know. I don't see him carrying much in this company, right? Like
they care about him in this company.
No, carrying. I don't see him carrying a title or anything.
Got it. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's a big monster. He's got I think once he finds his big monster moment that other than throwing people up through the ceiling, he needs more of that stuff. He needs those big moments that people remember him for, not a title. Yeah. Speaking of titles, the AEW Women's World Championship, Hikaru Shida defends against Britt Baker. It's been over a year for Shida. Is it Britt's time to shine?
It's the coronation tonight.
I agree. I'll be a little shocked if Shida retains.
Same.
Only because it means that they have something planned for Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could see is that Jade eventually takes it off of Shida in like the most dominating fashion. And then they build Britt as the babyface who wins the title. But again, you've built Britt Baker for so long as the next in line that it wouldn't make sense to cool her off this quickly. Again, unless there's a turn.
Yeah, 100%. Evans just said something in the chat that makes me want to go back to Lance Archer a little bit, actually. Lance Archer and Bear Country as trios champs. That is actually a great idea. And it would be a great way to kick off Rampage. If they introduce new championships, which they'll need to cover their many, many shows. Trios would be excellent because they have a very deep roster. And I think those three as a tag team would be excellent. And it's Rampage, right? Which makes me think of the video game. And when you look at Lance Archer, dude looks like a big dragon man. You got a couple of bears. There you go.
Oh, I'm into it. Maybe I'll redo that design that I made with I had it originally with Death Triangle.
Yeah,
so I'll redo it with Archer and Bear Country.
Do it up. I think that'd be a really great way. And then it gives Lance Archer something that he can stick with for quite a while. Like he could stay within the trios kind of the trios part of the card makes sense to me because he's going to be a mid-carder. I don't see him being like top of the company at any point.
Yeah, I like the idea of doing the trios title A and B, having him team up with someone like Bear Country. That would be a really good call. I like it. Let's talk about the AEW World Championship. Kenny Omega defends against Pac and Orange Cassidy. Just tell me Omega wins. Yeah,
obviously. Like this is so.
Tell me your champion retains without telling me your champion retains.
Yeah, Pac is just there at this point.
I feel bad because the problem with Pac has just been that he's never been able to stick around long enough because of the traveling and having to quarantine and things like that throughout this pandemic. Now that things are starting to open up, I hope that Pac is able to actually be part of more meaningful storylines.
Yeah. And again, if we pull him back into the trios, he can do the Death Triangle thing and be on the card consistently. But they have to stick with it rather than constantly jumping around and where they're positioned and whether or not Penta and Phoenix are singles competitors or tag competitors. You know, Phoenix just keeps getting hurt. Pac's another one who's gotten hurt quite a bit. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and Orange Cassidy down the line. It's not going to be today.
Yeah, 100%. It's just, it was nice to see that moment. He will be a star. I don't think he's going to be like a long-standing champion at any point, but it'll be good to see him have the title somewhere down the road.
Caleb asks, who does Omega pin? I have that same question. Who does Omega pin?
I expect... That's tough. I don't know. You could go either way.
I think he pins Orange Cassidy.
I was leaning towards Pac.
I also think he stacks them and smashes them and puts them on top of each other.
Do it.
And just really just digs into people's heads.
I will pop a lot tonight if he does that.
I think they'll try for a spot with that where they'll do the stack pin.
They should. They really should.
I'm into it.
Like this is what I want. Like this was what made WCW exciting. Like this is what I want. I want them taking digs at each other.
And they have been, but I mean, I need Tony to not be the only guy doing it.
No. Yeah, it's got to be less limited and it's got to be more subtle. Like I don't want, not that that's subtle, but like I don't know, more interesting, more in service of the same story, right? Like rather than just being plain about it. I don't need more promos about brass rings, etc. Like,
right. All right, let's get to what will be the main event in my eyes. I think this will go off the air. Stadium Stampede, just like last year. It's the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle this time. If Inner Circle loses, they got to disband. Is this it?
Yeah, I think so. Because Jericho's going away. So
his Fozzy tour starts in July.
Oh, that's still far.
It is a while away. So that's something that I've been thinking about. He has a new single coming out. It looks like, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. But I do expect the Pinnacle to win.
Yeah, I hope so. But just like you don't, man, I'm not a big FTR guy. They're fine. They all feel like default characters in like a creator wrestler. Him and Sean Spears or them and Sean Spears. Who else is in the Pinnacle? Who am I forgetting?
FTR, Sean Spears, MJF, and
Wardlow.
Wardlow. He's big. Sorry, I apologize to Jack Crosby, who's probably not watching the show, but also flipping his shit.
I was like, there's definitely a big man that I'm forgetting. But like, yeah, you don't like, I feel like putting FTR and Sean Spears with MJF was like a very good decision because they don't need to be that much of a standout because you've got MJF there. Like,
right. He
pulls so much weight that I think this is the best use of those people because they're all very capable wrestlers and they suit the narrative of being like, FTR was always about like purism or like tradition, etc. That type of crap. Right. They're more like slow down, beat down wrestlers who, aligns with MJF's work. So I think that it's such a good stable that I need to see them solidify their position as a stable for like the coming, like the foreseeable future. Like I think they need to take the place of the Inner Circle who need to split up.
I love the idea of how much the Pinnacle Inner Circle mirror each other in that Jake Hager is the Sean Spears of the group.
Not the Wardlow.
He's not the Wardlow. I'm talking about how much people give a damn. It's just like Wardlow is huge, but
Man, Jake Hager was in the WWE when I was watching, like religiously, and I didn't care about him then. Like,
you're not alone.
I found him to be such a dry dork. Like I was just like, oh, you're Kurt Angle, but you actually suck.
Amazing. So who you got? Who's winning the match?
Pinnacle. I think it really should be the Pinnacle.
The only way I see Inner Circle winning is, like Evan's saying in the chat, Sammy and Ortiz and Santana are trios representing Inner Circle in this trios title tournament that we've started talking about.
I think Sammy needs to be a singles competitor. He's got so much talent, and I think he would just shine much better in that situation. LAX needs to be their own team and actually be a team. Like,
yeah, and we discussed this last week. We said Sammy and Miro for the TNT title would be an excellent feud.
be very, very good. You could get probably 2 or 3 matches out of that building, right? Like,
Yeah. And I'm for it. And then LAX needs to be on their own. Honestly, the only person that really loses out in the Inner Circle breakup is Jake Hager.
exactly. Who?
And they're still going to try and push him as they'll put him and Lance Archer in a match together.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Like that's the
big
type of thing it's
Haas
going to
guys.
be. Yeah.
Fine by me. Maybe it's Hager and Haas, or Hager and Archer as the Haas twins. Who knows?
Yeah, like I could see Hager being like a singles competitor. You can face guys like a Go-Go and stuff like that, and they can do the prize fighter bit. Like, but they'll all be like undercard matches.
The rest of the show looks good. We've gone through the whole thing. We talked about SmackDown. We talked about AEW, Dynamite this past week. We're back again on this channel on Tuesday on my birthday to talk about Raw, to talk about Double or Nothing, and talk a little bit about NXT. And I think that's it for us today, isn't it? We got anything else to talk about?
No, that's about it. Looking forward to the pay-per-view tonight, actually.
Watch along will be on twitch.tv/FightfulGaming. I'll be hosting. Tim, you're always welcome to join us as well.
I probably will tonight. Yeah.
Perfect. We'll get our friends going. Visit us in that chat. In the meantime, where can the people find you on the internet, Tim?
Peeps can find me at Tim Stone P TIMBSTONEP on Twitter. Wow.
Still remember how it goes, right?
Yeah.
I'm at Joel Pearl, JOELPEARL. You can find the show here, youtube.com/Tim and Joel Pod. Toss us a like, share the video with your friends, let them know that this is what we do, and if you like it, let them know, because we always love new faces in the chat, and new voices are always welcome. You're welcome here, you're welcome with us. Till next time, we'll see you on Tuesday, and enjoy Double or Nothing. Cheers.